Alrighty. So, what's up, everybody? As you know, it is me, Key Productions. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday as of recording this. I had just seen the FNAF movie. I just dropped around 7 my time. It is now 10. Um, I'd watched the movie. It's an hour and 49 minutes long. If you guys haven't seen it, recommend you guys go check it out. Okay. Now, I probably won't post this until Monday or the following week after, so let the movie be out a little bit before I put my review or my opinions on it. But But, sorry, I was reading a message. I just want to give you a warning. There will be spoilers in this review. So that's why I wanted to wait. So if you haven't seen the movie, stop here, click off. Don't spoil it yourself. If you haven't seen the movie and you care about my opinion and my views on it, then you can. Well, I thank you for watching, first of all. Thank you for taking the time to come over here and see. And we're really going to get the answer to the question, was it worth it? Because as you guys know, we were supposed to get a FNAF movie, I think years ago. And we just didn't get anything. We haven't really been hearing any news or anything like that. And at some point, it became apparent to people that there was a possibility the movie wouldn't happen. But we finally got to the point where we saw the trailers and everything looked great. The animatronics looked fantastic. Pizzeria looked amazing. Everything looked great. And the trailers and everything was doing great. And we were building up and leading up to the big reveal, and we finally, we got there. And now we can finally get the answer to the question, was it worth it? So I appreciate you all for joining me as we're going to go through, was it worth it? So, the movie starts out, I just seen it, so it's kind of fresh in my mind. But the movie starts out, I could be 100% wrong about this information, but the movie starts out showing you the pizzeria right off the bat. You have a night guard. He's wearing a night guard outfit. He is showing you how the first night guard died. How the position became open, basically. The night guard was killed. He climbed in the vents. He got out of the vents. And eventually he met his end after being stuffed in a Freddy Fazbear suit. Which was spring locks look very, very deadly. Very lethal. Then we kind of get a look at the main man, the myth, the legend himself, Mike. You know, the great Michael. We get him in a mall. I think it's like a little shopping mall. Like I said, I'm just pointing out main parts of the movie. I'm not going to tell the whole movie. I'm not going to do a review on the whole thing. Just main parts that like really stood out. So he sees this kid. He's like in the background, right? And there's this kid, and he's sitting. Well, he's not sitting, but he's standing there, and he's looking around. And all of a sudden, this man comes and grabs him. And Mike chases after the man, then beats the man half to death in a fountain. It was very interesting. The reason for this, the story they were going with, was that there was this repeated dream that will continue to be shown out through the movie. And it's a dream where Michael is seeing a day where he lost his brother named Garrett, I think his name was. And his brother Garrett had been kidnapped, and Michael was obsessed with knowing who the kidnapper was. So he would repeatedly see this dream. The dream continuously keeps getting shown throughout the movie. The same people, So, long story short, he loses that job. It was a security gig. Who knew? He loses that job. Then he, as we know from the trailer, he was about to get evicted. He was struggling financially. He just wasn't having the money, and then the aunt wanted to take the sister Abby away from him. So his whole life was falling apart. So he goes to Steve Raglan, aka William Afton. Everyone knows that. For a job. Gets a job. Tells him about the new Freddy gig. What's interesting to me is that William tells Michael about the gig, and Michael was like, "Yeah, I can't do night shifts, bro," because he has a sister. So they had a babysitter, but I didn't think he wanted to do night shifts. I don't know. But so he gets convinced to take the job, obviously, because later at some point, he gets the papers to change custody to give his sister to his aunt. And from that point, he's like, shoot, well, might as well take the job. So he hits up William. He's like, hey, Steve, when can I start? And we see his first night shift, which is pretty simple, pretty easy. I mean, not much happens on the first night, we'll call it. His first shift, nothing really happens. I'm drawing a blur, but I think he has the dream again, because he has like this playlist he listens to. It's like nature music, and what it would do is take him to that exact same dream over and over again. So he had the dream, and everything kind of played out again how it played out the first time. From there, he saw the dream, move on. So things start to get a little normal until one of the nights he meets the officer, which we see in the trailer, Officer Vanessa. Officer Vanessa tells him about the animatronics and about the history of Freddy. She kind of walks him through the whole thing. He meets the animatronics for the first time, because the first time that he saw the animatronics, he just little peek. He didn't really actually like mess with the Showtime button or anything like that. Vanessa uses the Showtime button. He watches the Showtime. He sees the animatronics. He gets the whole scoop. Jeez, like, the movie is so in my head, but at the same time, it's not in my head. So, I'm gonna miss a few things. But like I said, this is just me telling you if I think the movie was worth it or not. So like I said, I'm going to repeat again. I'm not going to talk about every little detail of the movie. We'd be here forever. I'm just going to tell you about things that I majorly remember and things that mainly popped up in my mind. So, the aunt meets up with this group who apparently she promised to pay, because the babysitter is like, I guess a spy, not a spy, but I guess she was like paid to get criminal records or some kind of something to use against Mike so that she could get Abby. And when that didn't happen, they all got upset and they're like, hey, where's my money? And she's like, you didn't do the job, you don't get the money, sorry. We have our cameo. We knew from seeing Corey in the movie that or in the trailer, that we would get a cameo. Now everyone was speculating when we get Mark, Daco, and all these other people. We got Matt Pat. Matt Pat made an appearance at a place called Sparky's. Funny, nice little reference there. At a place called Sparky's, Matt Pat made his appearance. It was pretty cool to see. I had my concerns, I won't lie, because when my first impressions of the movie from seeing the trailers was like, this is cool, but are there going to be so many cameos, and will the cameos take away from the movie? Will like a Markiplier take away from the movie? Not saying make the movie bad, but will people remember the movie for the movie, remember the movie for the cameos? That was my concern. Matt Pat appeared. He was one of the servers. He had his little fame, got his little, it's just theory, and, good old Matt Pat. So then they learn of his new gig at Freddys because of the babysitter, and they decide to try to get him fired by how? Breaking in, because his job is to make sure nobody breaks in, and they're trying to get him fired. Ha 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 ha. So they all break in, and as we've seen in the trailers, which is really unfortunate. That's one of my things I hated about the trailers. Like, the trailers kind of already show you what happened. Like, the trailers showed like half of the movie. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the trailers show you about good, maybe main important parts of what happened. Like, we already seen all the death scenes from the trailers. We basically already seen them. So they replay again, but in their full capacity. So I was kind of a bit disappointed because I was like, this would have been cool to kind of see for the first time, but you've seen it in the trailers, so then like the hype isn't there, so that was a bit of a letdown. Not gonna lie, not here to be negative, but just saying like it's unfortunate that we get the reveal of all the deaths in the trailer and you don't get to see it for yourself. But I'll explain the deaths because, why not? So obviously you have the one in the kitchen with Chica and the cupcake. The guy, he's in there, messes up the kitchen. Chica's like, no, me no like that. And Chica goes and gives him a piece. He looks in the fridge after seeing something move, finds the cupcake. Something happens behind him, turns around, cupcake's gone in Chica's hand, and he's like, hey, yo, bro, you want a piece? And then Cupcake bodies him. One of the friends get called to hear the screaming of him sounding like a little girl, and he's like, well, what happened? Seeing his friend get eaten, and then he goes running like a madman across the room. Finds himself locked into a room where, he meets Bonnie. Bonnie bodies him. We don't get to see how Bonnie bodies him, but we just know Bonnie bodied him, and then has a face-to-face with one of the other people. That guy, he ends up getting bodied by good old Foxy, which unfortunately, we see him half the hallway, and I knew there was a part of the movie, or the part of the trailer, where they had showed Foxy's, that scene where Foxy was getting the guy. Like I said, they showed all the death scenes. There was a part where we thought Foxy was floating, but it looked like they did two shots. So they did a shot of Foxy far, and they did a shot of Foxy even closer, with the little jump scare of FNAF 1. So there was that. Then the final one, I hate Freddy's death scene. I'm sorry, I am not the fan. This is kind of my first thing that took me out of the movie. So Max, the name of the babysitter, finally goes in. She was sitting outside. She finally goes in, and she is lured in the back by the Freddy kid. The Freddy kid lures her all the way back to Freddy Fazbear. Then she gets a chair. Obviously, we've seen this in the trailer. She gets grabbed. But what they didn't show you, because literally they cut that one part, it was literally a second, Freddy chops her in half. Like, the whole thing. Like, the body's cut in half. And my thing is, like, to me, I feel like knowing the animatronics, wouldn't that be a little bit unrealistic? Because, like, it kind of just felt, like, really mediocre and, like, kind of corny and kind of cringy, like, the way they did that. Because what I was thinking, like, oh, we're going to have, like, a Bite of 83 situation here where, like, chomp chomp in the head and that works. But you cut the whole body in half and it kind of just, I don't know, man. It just didn't hit well with me. It wasn't my favorite death scene. So we move on to Vanessa going to visit Mike, saying, hey, yo, Mike, someone broke in. I have to take you in because that's kind of on you because you didn't do your job and lock the place up. Yeah. And Abby sees Vanessa for the first time. Mike tries to explain to her that he basically has trouble sleeping and he has sleeping pills because she showed him the pills. He had sleeping pills, he had sleeping problems, and he kind of went and had a one-on-one with her where he kind of explains his whole story about his brother and everything to her. Then she recommends to him that he just does his job a bit better, basically. So, with Max dead, Abby has no one to watch her. Mike tries to call Max ain't answering, so Abby gets to go. We know where that goes. So Abby goes to the pizzeria, and what you basically would expect is, hey, you come in, you stay with me, and until my shift's over, you go to bed. So we told her to go to bed, and she did. She went to sleep, but he did too. Good old Mike fell asleep at the job again and left his sister unattended, to where the kids try to summon her to the stage and basically where they performed for her. And he comes in to see her being like, well, he wakes up after hearing her scream, and I believe he has the same dream all over again. And this time the kid talks to him. They tell him, like, he asks them for help. Help me, help me, help me. Cause when Abby goes to the show stage, Freddy turns on and approaches her. We've seen that scene in a trailer. That's why I said it's very unfortunate that most of these scenes happen in a trailer. I think they should have just stuck to one trailer. That's just me. So yeah, we get that. Mike asks the souls for help. Freddy tells him, what are you gonna do for us? If we help you, what's in it for us? He said he'll do anything. He'll give them anything. Freddy smiles, or the soul that I believe was revealed to be Freddy? No, I think it was Golden Freddy. I think Golden Freddy's the leader. Whatever. The kid soul the kid soul kind of like, cool, you know. Well, he didn't say anything, but he smiled, and Mike woke up. Mike goes in to see the animatronics swarming Abby, and she's having fun, and they're all buddy, and they all hanging out, bro. Like, you know, we seen that too, unfortunately. Like, this is the thing, bro. You just kind of get spoiled these things, and you just don't get really surprised. But, you know, they're all hanging out. Abby introduces them before Mike tried to go one-on-one with Freddy Fazbear, you know, getting a chair, telling him, like, hey, back up. Freddy's like, hey, I don't play that game. And Freddy was like, he looked like he was about to give Mike a piece or two. Before Abby said, whoa, I know him. You know, we cool. My brother. Hey, my friends. Hey, buddy, everybody. And that was that. So it's a nice, funny little thing there to where they all kind of, you know, meet and stuff, and Mike kind of learns that, oh, hey, you guys are really possessed, but you're also kind of cool at the same time, I guess. And Abby and Mike go home for the night because that's the end of the shift. Then they go home, they talk about it, and Mike asks Abby if she can he finds out that Abby has been drawing pictures of what's been happening in his dreams, which kind of give him the hint that they have told her about what happened, or showed her as well that maybe she had the same dream. So he goes and says, hey, can you ask them if they know who it is? And she's like, I got you. So we move on to that night. They all go. Vanessa's there too. Vanessa's just, you know, Vanessa became buddy with Mike, good old Mike. You know, they became friends. She kept coming around, and they kind of bonded there. Vanessa was there. The animatronics were there. Abby came, said, "Hey guys, I'm back," and everybody, you know, they rejoiced. They all had fun. There was a little funny little montage where all the animatronics were just building a fort together, and it was a nice, happy, go-feel moment. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked the moment. It was pretty cool. There was this one funny moment where Bonnie passed out. Like, this man fell over. He was so happy. Just seeing the animatronics happy was pretty cool. The fort gets built. Everyone's chilling. Then Vanessa says, "Hey, we need a roof," and she goes off, and then Mike goes with her. Backstage, they find an animatronic that's back there. It's not an animatronic that anybody knows. It's just this random female-looking animatronic that supposedly is the animatronic that they were going to stuff Abby in. Vanessa gets all scared and stuff because Vanessa has history with the place. Go figure. She knows all this information. And she kind of gets mad at Mike, and she's like, "Hey, yo, you know, you guys got to get out of here. This is, you got to just stop. You need to drop this whole act. You need to stop. Get over it. Leave it all in the past. Leave." That's what she wants him to do. He tries to get more information out of her, but she ain't having it. She's upset. She's angry, and she threatens. Well, at the end of the night, she threatens to shoot him if he continues to bring Abby. So he goes and gets the aunt, and she becomes the babysitter, and yeah. Oh, man. I feel like I skipped a whole bunch, and trust me, I know I have, but I'm telling you, I'm only saying the main parts of the movie that I remember. So Mike goes into the shift alone, and he has that dream again in the office. This time, the animatronic souls pop up again, and this time his dream's a little different, where he sees Garrett and all of his family, and they all want him to join him. They see him as he is the adult. They see him. He keeps telling them that they're not real, they're not real, they're not real, and then next thing you know, the souls are watching him, kind of like, haha, and Freddy's not the Freddy soul. I keep calling it Freddy soul. It's the golden Freddy soul. The golden Freddy soul is just telling him, like, hey, this is what you wanted. You wanted to be with them, and you can be with them every time you have this dream. All you have to do is give us what we want. And they basically said that they want his sister. Now, Mike, being, distracted by everything that happened, he said yes to them being able to have his sister. Which, he's done screwed up, because now the animatronics now want his sister to stay with them forever, because they were all having so much fun together. So they wanted to turn her into an animatronic. And Mike freaks out, and he's like, whoa, wait, I take it back, but it was too late, and they all start attacking him and try to kill him, because basically he lied, and he was going to take her away. So they wanted to get him out of the way so they could have Abby. We get the whole Springlock scene again, but this time with Mike in it, and Mike escapes. He escapes the pizzeria. Well, no, he doesn't escape the pizzeria. Sorry, I'm jumping ship here. He doesn't escape the pizzeria. He ends up being attacked by Foxy. The animatronics all attack him, and yeah, he gets attacked. Then we go way back home with Abby when she is in her room alone. The aunt tries to get her to come out, no avail. The aunt goes and watches some TV, while we get a nice little corner. The camera pans into the corner, show you good old golden Freddy. He's up there, he's chilling in the house. How'd he get in? Who knows? Teleportation, man. He got in, he calls over Abby, and, she tells her that the others are waiting for you. Let's go. The others are waiting for you. We miss you. Then they catch a taxi, a cab, which apparently Golden Freddy knows how to call a cab. Or maybe he taught Abby. Who knows? But, yeah. They catch the cab, which is where we see the other cameo, which is Corey. Corey freaks out because, he sees Abby getting the thing. He's like, hey, where are you going? And then all of a sudden the taxi just shifts over, and he's like, whoa, man, not cool. And, he sees Golden Freddy. He's just like, whatever, weirdos. And he takes him. So we get my favorite part. We get to the police station, and Mike is in there because Vanessa brought him in and found him unconscious and hurt and beat up after the animatronics all ambushed, basically jumped this dude. Not really, but yeah. Well, they kind of did. I don't know, but she patches him up and everything, and that's my favorite scene, because then he's kind of like, what happened? What's going on? You know stuff. You're not telling me stuff. So then she kind of breaks it all down to him of how he knows, or how she knows, and she shows him a picture. Well, she reveals that she reveals information about William Afton, and how she knows all this stuff is because she is William Afton's daughter, which I found was a nice, pretty cool twist. But then you kind of already give that away, because like, how else would she know all that information? It was either that, or you would just assume that she saw the murders or was a kid there. But it's not too far-fetched for you to predict. But you find out that she's, the daughter of William Afton. And you also find out that she kind of knew about Garrett going missing without knowing it was Garrett, or without knowing it was Michael's brother, because she, in the picture that she shows Michael, it's the plane that his brother had played with in her hand. So she kind of didn't know / knew. It's one of those things. And he gets upset, and he's like, tell me how to stop him, tell me how to save my sister, and everything. And they go basically and fight the animatronics. Man, am I getting Willy's Wonderland like I got Willy's Wonderland. I think that's what it's called. But I got those kind of vibes. They went in there, they fought the animatronics, not really. Basically Mike sneaks in there. Vanessa's not going because Vanessa said that she won't be able to help if she runs into William, which I thought was a glitch trap reference. Because Vanessa, I don't know if this is the same Vanessa. I don't even know if this is connected to anything. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting. So Mike dashes down there in a police car. He drives down there and he goes and he runs into Abby, who already got there, was led by Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy did not enter that building. Golden Freddy disappeared. So she goes and she has fun with them, and then Chica drags her off. Mike appears, and he goes and he takes out Freddy and he takes out Bonnie. Freddy spots him while he's sneaking in through the vent, because he snuck in through the vent from the outside, because he was warned not to use the front door. Vanessa warned him not to use the front door, so he went to use the vent. So he snuck in through the vent, got in. Freddy somehow didn't spot him and Bonnie when they literally were turning to look at him as they were performing. I don't know if that's like some sort of thing when they're in performing mode, like they can't see. I don't know. But this dude was there clear as day, but I ain't gonna question. But whatever. He gets in, he gets a bucket of water, he pours it down, and then he tases both of them, and there goes down Freddy and Bonnie. Then he sees Abby in the distance, who's being led off by Chica to parts and service, where Chica's planning to put her in a spring-lock suit. I know, Chica's a jerk, right? We all knew she was a jerk. Thankfully, Mike is able to stop her and save Abby before that happens. Then they try to escape before Mike is attacked by Cupcake, which I found pretty funny. Cupcake is lethal in this movie. He's deadly. Man's a lethal monster, a lethal weapon. So that's pretty cool. So Abby runs and gets away while Mike is tangoing with the Cupcake. Not actually, but he's just on the ground struggling to get up because his leg's messed up. And Cupcake's just biting crap out of his leg. And Abby goes and unfortunately has to deal with Foxy, who's trying to hunt her down and stuff. So while Mike's busy with that, Abby is hiding from Foxy, who is sneaking around the arcade looking for her. So she hides in the ball pit, and he spots her, and Vanessa pops in to save the day. Yeah. Then, Michael, he tases the Cupcake, who could apparently fly, which is freaking insane to me. And he goes and he looks for Abby, only to be confronted by the Golden Rabbit himself, William Afton. I'm not calling it Spring Bonnie or Spring Trap, because I don't know what the freak that thing is. It could be Spring Trap Bonnie. I don't know. Okay. But William Afton appeared before our eyes, and he had a nice little showdown with Michael, which was pretty interesting. Michael got knocked out cold. And Abby was trying to wake him up, and William was, basically they kind of revealed that the drawings that would be drawn, the animatronics could understand drawing. Like, that was their language. So on the drawing, on the picture of the wall, when you see the golden rabbit holding hands with all the souls, to them, he is good. So he listens to them. So I found that pretty interesting, because I didn't think that's what they would do as far as, like, the animatronics go. So they're being controlled by William through a drawing. I could be looking at it wrong, but that's kind of like what comes off, just the way they kind of explained it. So there's that, and all the animatronics are approaching and everything, and Vanessa and William get into it because she threatens to shoot him, which she actually does shoot him, which kind of funny because he's like, you wouldn't shoot me. He's like, you shot me. So I found that funny. So then he kind of goes and has a, tango with her until eventually she gets stabbed. Then Abby goes and after, Mike be like, you need to tell them the truth, tell them what really happened. And Abby went and drew a picture of the William murdering the kids, which actually happened. They just apparently forgot because, a picture showing them friends, we all buddy with the golden rabbit. So she rips down that. She said, this picture's outdated. We need a new one. Bam. Puts that thing on the wall. And all the animatronics understand now. Everything starts to freak out. Everything literally starts falling apart. And all the animatronics now know the truth. The killer in purple. Well, he wasn't really wearing purple in this movie, but the killer. So, they all surround William. And this man just basically gets... Well, he doesn't get jumped, but the cupcake bites him. They really gave Cupcake a lot of moments in this movie. I'm starting to think that, they're a fan of the Cupcake. Are we going to get the Cupcake movie? Shoot, Cupcake better be a main character in the next few FNAF games at this point, because that thing's lethal. It was a weapon, a dangerous menace in this movie. So, after all that, everything starts falling apart. Basically, the spring lock scene starts happening as the spring locks start cracking and crunching this dude, and he's dying, and the animatronics drag him away as Abby and Michael escape while carrying Vanessa. Then, basically they show the aftermath. Abby is a bit more happy around other people now, and she's showing progress of getting better with, bonding a bit more with her brother. And they go and visit Vanessa, who's in the hospital. Michael thanks her for helping and basically tells her that, hey, when you wake up, we'll still be here. And they have their fun little moment together. That was nice. We then get to go back to the pizzeria where we see, William Afton in the back struggling. He's hurting as Golden Freddy watches him suffer. Great. Suffer. And he just closes the door on him. And that was that. That basically is the end of the movie, aside from them adding a funny scene of Corey sleeping, and a Balloon Boy toy pops up in the van, and Corey just freaks out about it. But that's basically the movie. Yeah, I missed out a lot of parts, but that's basically the movie. They did end the movie with the Living Tombstone remix of the FNAF 1 song, which I think was a good selection and the best choice, considering how old and iconic that song is. So I can't wait to get that on a playlist, because that thing sounded fire. So, yeah. With that being said, is the movie worth it? After many years, is the movie really worth it? Was it worth it? Was it worth the wait? No, I don't want to come off as somebody who hates the movie, but I think as far as what it was, I think it's okay. I don't think it's the best movie. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. I've put this in a community post that I said the movie to me was a 7.5 out of 10. I think performance-wise, the movie was great. They put it on great. Sure, I don't like PG-13 horror movies, but, sometimes you gotta live with what you got. But for what the movie was, I think it was okay. I just really wish, story-wise, they would have really did something more, because the story to me kind of felt underwhelming at points, to where you have Michael being obsessed with wanting to know who took his brother and kind of neglecting Abby a bit. So I kind of think that bit was a bit interesting, but also feel like it kind of just felt underwhelming at some points. But that's just me. That's my opinion. Okay. As far as if the movie was worth it, I think as a fan, I think it was worth it. I think the amount of hard work and effort that everyone put into trying to put together this movie, I do think it was worth it. The critics, may call it the worst rated movie, horror movie. Well, they didn't give it a really good rating, let me tell you that. But I think for like the fans, it's a nice feeling for them to finally have this movie. Whether we look at it as like the greatest movie of all time, or the greatest movie told, or the greatest story told, or feel like it gives FNAF justice, or does FNAF justice, I feel like for what it is, for the fans, it's a good movie. To a casual viewer, I don't think it does much for a casual viewer. Because as a casual viewer, if you were to go see this movie, you wouldn't really walk out wanting to see more about anything regarding Five Nights at Freddy's, in my opinion. But if you haven't seen the movie, I do think it's worth the watch. It's a nice watch, it's a nice moment, it's a nice feel, and everybody really is happy that this movie came out. I think everyone did great. The team did great, you know. For what it is, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. When thinking about a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, there's so much that you can do, but this is not a bad start. I'd like to think of this as like it's here, and let's see where we can go. Because I have a feeling that we're going to get another one. The Blum House and everybody, they're going to be listening to everything that the fans say, and they're going to either really step it up for the next one, or, you know, they're going to do something. I know that for sure. But yeah, I hope that answers your question of whether it was worth it or not. I think it's a good watch. I think it's a nice movie to watch. It's nothing to go crazy about. But if you're a FNAF fan and you love FNAF, then I say you go watch the movie. Go watch the movie, enjoy it, and form your own opinions and let me know in the comments what you think. Okay? Because this isn't me saying that I hate the movie. I don't hate the movie. I just think the movie's okay. I want it to do better. I want them to do better. I really want, if we're gonna have a FNAF movieverse, I want the best FNAF movieverse. Okay? I don't want Matt Pats out here making their own movieverse. Don't want that. But that's it from me. Let me know what y'all think about the movie. I'd like to know your opinions, your favorite scenes, and what you'd rate the movie, and what you look forward to seeing or possibly seeing in a future movie. But that's all from me. I appreciate everyone from stopping by. Hope my review was somewhat nice and good for you to understand and listen to. I may have mixed scenes up, but at the end of the day, I did say what was in the movie, kind of, sort of. Maybe not. Who knows? You'd have to watch and find out. Alright, that's it from me. How do you end this again? Oh yeah, I'm not that old.